So we'll see here in the Code of Laws where it does say we increase the blood quantum of these people who apply to be on the roll for membership. Okay, so that's how you begin the infiltration into these corporations that are supposed to protect the very people that form this, which is the white turkey and the big Jim. So when you have a quarter who, um, or of at least 1/4 degree Absentee Shawnee blood, okay, so these people can get on. The membership of the Absentee Shawnee Tribe of Oklahoma Indians shall consist of the following persons: all children born since April 17, 1954, or of at least 1/4 degree Absentee Shawnee blood. And now they've probably reduced it by now because remember, this is for a corporation to obtain benefits from the government. So if you compare it, and if you're a business owner, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you hire people, you get those benefits. And like, say if you hired a war veteran, you get paid a certain amount of money that you're going to get back for hiring him, for paying his wages, right? I learned that the hard way because I was that veteran they hired. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's see here. Section 2. From and after the effective date of this Constitution, no person shall be enrolled as a member of the Absentee Shawnee Tribe unless he possesses at least 1/4 degree Absentee Shawnee Indian blood. Section 3. Any person entitled to membership who has been enrolled as a member of another tribe may be enrolled in the Absentee Shawnee Tribe, provided that person has not shared in land or money as a member of another tribe, and provided further that person relinquishes in writing and officially terminates membership in the other tribe. Okay, again, this is going to apply to people who have applied to be on this roll, because the truth of it is that this treaty goes to the people who were removed here, the ceremonial people who are still here today, such as me and my children. And if you watch this on TikTok, you've seen some of my family where I'm at right now to do this podcast. So this, when infiltration has begun, because you can say that these people here are not of us, because there's a law of not marrying outside our people. Okay, that's a law. I'm just going to remind people, it's not me saying it. Creator said it unto us. That's why he separated us in the first place and brought us over here. I mean, read about it. It's in the good book. However, if you've had family like mine, you already know that the truth that I'm saying is real. So, anyway, I might want to plug this up. Let's see what happens. I think we're doing good. Okay, so that's what membership does there. In the tribal government, let's go to Article 4, Tribal Government. The tribal government, as described in this article, is composed of 2 separate branches. So, again, a tribal government is not really what you think it is. The tribal government that we have has an arbor and a sacred place. That's a law there. Now, when they've given us this template here to distribute to Congress for federal recognition, all this is to do was to get recognized. So these code of laws also will pertain to the safety of your children in your own court. But this is more important than just for me and the battle that I still go through with the imposter court here at the Absentee Shawnee Tribe of Oklahoma. Now, some of these cats here that are the imposter judges over here, they're part of the trafficking of our children that y'all don't even know. It doesn't even pertain to you, but it pertains to me. So how I obtained this law degree from the University of Oklahoma, only Creator could have put the people in play for me to obtain this. So even these code of laws to fall into my hands, to know the truth of what I stand upon, to be distributed to you. So if you can follow my profile, it's going to have where you can obtain one of these copies here to follow along with the podcast. So you can get your copy of this and we can discuss it more as we continue to share about the Oklahoma Indian Child Welfare Act and how it's important here in Oklahoma that we take over this court. Okay, so let's just go to the court section. That way you know I ain't BSing you. All right. So, civil procedure, enrollment, courts. All right. So, table of contents you'll find through here. Now this should be in every vehicle, every household. This should be right by your assimilation good book called the Bible. This should be right there. You should know everything about your charter, everything about your corporation, everything about your people and the jobs that they're supposed to do. Especially if you're getting judges that ain't of your grounds, your ceremonial grounds, and the people up there are selecting them to steal your children and farm them out to non-indigenous homes. Come on, man. This is why you don't know. You don't have these code of laws. So if you want to help support the Oklahoma Indian Child Welfare Act, I got some ideas. So I have family members who are in the powwow world and may retired, and dad was in the powwow world when I grew up, and I say he's my dad because he was there when my younger days, but he's really my stepdad. So being a stepchild in this time of the 70s, and Dad was he was a war dancer first before they called it fancy dancers. But Dad would go out there and we'd go to these powwows, and I had my Indian shirt on, and sometimes we just didn't win. You know, I was part of that world a little bit, but my older brother George A., he's of that powwow world, and y'all might know him too. He's been many world champion fancy dancer many times, you know. So I always say he always took up that side of Dad, and I took up the stomp dance side of Dad. So anyway, the idea I wanted to come up with was have like maybe a powwow stomp dance type thing for Oklahoma, and maybe even go live TikTok somehow to bring awareness about the Oklahoma Indian Child Welfare Act and how it protects our children through our ceremonial grounds and our treaty, because we still exist here. The Indian Child Welfare Act in the Supreme Court is totally different than what we have here in Oklahoma, but yet it's still the same. Here I even have, I don't know if even to call them friends, but acquaintances of the past. People are not true once you, I don't know, when you encounter them in the beginning. So I have I know people in DHS, Department of Health and Family Services here in Oklahoma. They have degrees in it. They've been in it for many years. However, when I explain to them that this battle that they do is not for the people, and yet they know me, or they don't want to know me as the ceremonial dad who's been battling through these imposter courts from these other corporations. Now, y'all check this out for yourselves. The Modoc Nations are not from here. They're from California. So this is for anybody in California. Get a hold of your governor and tell him that his Indians are over here and to come get them because they're causing fraud, corporate fraud, and trafficking of children. That's the Modoc Nation here. So these are people. They're not even ceremonial people. We don't even have a treaty with them yet. They come to our court, which you see right here in this tab. Okay, this is our code of laws. I am the shareholder they borrow the sovereignty from because I have the land. This is my corporation. So the Modocs and Chickasaw Nation, they both had come into these courts that is supposed to protect our children. Test, test, test. Okay, we're back. Okay, so to recap, the Modoc Chickasaw Nation do not have a treaty with this corporation, and that's the truth. So TikTok's going to have to wait for this live feed just because we've had some technical difficulties with the location of our camera. So we're going to continue on with the tribal courts and why it's important to know what laws to be applied. So, very interesting topic. So let's go ahead and pretend you're one of my people. So let's say you're Shawnee. And so I want to help you to either take the... Man, I've got to put this on TikTok live. Man, I'm about to crack up. Man, shoot. Just because of the red pill and the blue pill type thing. So anyway, let's see if I can get back to the TikTok live. So if you're following on this podcast live, you can go to TikTok and search I'm Mick James Biscuit, because I'm going live again as we had some terrible feed. So hopefully they'll let me play along again. Resume. Yeah, I want to resume. Okay, so I'm going to have to put the phone in a different locale. So I'm not sure. Let's see if we can put it over here. Hang on, people. All right. Okay, so we're back. So I got TikTok to my right, and I got the podcast to my left. Okay, to recap, why is it important for the Oklahoma Indian Child Welfare Act here in Oklahoma and the Supreme Court? They're totally two different laws to be applied. So in 1978, the Indian Child Welfare Act is a failure. So here in Oklahoma, they saw the failure and they said, oh, we're about to genocide the people off, because they already saw that they were removing us. Now, I'm a part of this era. It wasn't until 1982 that they made this law, the Oklahoma Indian Child Welfare Act, 1982. So before that, just imagine the fear of my mom, or from the ceremonial grounds, what they thought about losing the children, not able to partake or know the laws of the holy place, ceremonial grounds, stomp grounds, any place that Creator has appointed for us to worship Him. Okay? So, it wasn't a very good thing to be what they say Indian, and I say they, Congress, or the conqueror has labeled us. However, the Shawnees have a treaty. So a lot of the indigenous people that still remain, as they want to reference as full-blood people, or the original inhabitant before blood quantum ever existed, was a belief system. And this corporation is to protect your belief system, which means your people. So I want to share with you, now that I'm back to TikTok Live, what the courts at this corporation is supposed to do. So within the courts tab, you will have your table of contents. Now, what is important is you got to read up under these and realize that the truth of the matter is that you don't know. So you only know what you don't know, and you don't know a lot. So here, the court shall have general civil jurisdiction over all civil actions arising under the Constitution, laws, or treaties of the tribe. So if you followed along, we went over what it was for the Constitution that was made by the people, which made the membership.